The loudest person in the room is often the weakest, a hollow vessel screaming for validation in a world that doesn't care. While the masses are fighting for a fleeting moment in the spotlight, the true masters of reality are doing something far more dangerous. They are disappearing. They have realized a secret that remains hidden from the average mind. Fame is nothing but a golden cage, and absolute privacy is the ultimate form of power. Welcome to the era of the ghost. Today, we aren't here to teach you how to be noticed. We are here to teach you how to own everything, control everyone, and influence the world, all while remaining a shadow that no one can grasp. Look around you and witness the digital tragedy of the modern age. Everyone is broadcasting their lives, their small wins, and even their intimate meals to a world of strangers. They are trading their data, their peace, and their very souls for the cheap dopamine of a like. But the elite, the top 1% of the 1%, are doing the exact opposite. They are systematically deleting their digital footprints. They understand a fundamental truth. If the system cannot see you, it cannot track you. And if it cannot track you, it cannot control you. To be a ghost is to be truly free from the social taxes and the invisible chains of the masses. Modern wealth is loud, gaudy, and desperate for attention, but ancient. Generational wealth is silent and cold. Real power doesn't require a verified checkmark on a screen or a million followers watching your every move. True power is the quiet ability to walk into any room on earth, completely unnoticed, while knowing that you own the very foundation of the building you just entered. It is the sophisticated art of being the shadow that moves the light, the silence that speaks louder than any shout. In the kingdom of the ghost, silence isn't just gold, it is a strategic, lethal weapon used to dominate without resistance. The greatest trick the financial elite ever pulled was convincing the world that they simply don't exist. They don't put their names on skyscrapers. They hide behind intricate trusts, offshore corporations, and layers of legal privacy that the average person cannot even comprehend. While you're wasting your energy trying to look rich for people you don't even like, they are busy being powerful in the dark. They don't want your envy. They want your total compliance. It's time to stop trying to be famous and start aiming to be impactful from the deepest shadows of the machine. Anonymity is the new ultimate luxury. In a world where every step is tracked, every purchase is recorded, and every thought is harvested by algorithms, being untraceable is the highest status symbol imaginable. If the world doesn't know who you are, it doesn't know where to attack. If the system doesn't know what you own, it has no leverage to take it away from you. Privacy is not just a preference anymore. It is the only shield that actually works against the rising tide of global envy and the prying eyes of an over-regulated world. Your ego is the primary leak in your empire. It is a hungry beast that craves recognition and demands applause for every achievement. But remember this, every time you brag, you are painting a massive target on your own back. The ghost is the man who has successfully killed his ego. He doesn't care if the history books remember his name, as long as his hands are the ones controlling the final outcome. Success is infinitely sweeter and far more secure when absolutely nobody knows that you are winning at the highest level of the game. Build in the dark and grow in the absolute silence. There is a specific, raw kind of strength that comes from working on a massive project that nobody else knows about. It keeps your creative energy focused and your intentions pure. The moment you speak about your plans, you release the psychological tension required to actually achieve them. You lose the fire of the secret. Keep your mouth shut, keep your moves hidden, and let your results be the only noise you ever make. Let your success be a sudden, unexplainable force that the world cannot ignore. The entire modern system is designed as a machine to harvest your attention, Every notification is a hook, and every trending topic is a calculated distraction to keep you from building your own reality. The ghost ignores the noise with cold indifference. He doesn't follow the news, he follows the deep data. He doesn't react to the world's tragedies or triumphs. He architects his own environment. You cannot lead the masses if you are constantly following the crowd's digital heartbeat. To rule the world, you must first disconnect from it. Wealth is nothing more than a tool for total autonomy. It is not a prop for a show. If your wealth requires you to be a public figure, then you aren't a master. You are just a high-level employee of the public's opinion. The ghost uses his wealth for one purpose: to buy back his time, his privacy, and his identity. He is the man who has the power to disappear at any given moment, into any part of the world, and still hold more influence than those standing under the brightest spotlights. If you can't walk away unnoticed, you aren't truly free. Think deeply about the true players behind the players, the entities who fund the politicians, the shadow owners of the global media, the master architects of the central banks. You don't know their faces. You will never see them on a talk show, and that is exactly how they designed it. They are the ghosts in the machine, the silent operators who understand that true sovereignty is found in the shadows. They aren't playing the game you were taught to play. They are the ones who wrote the rules while you were busy watching the screen. Independence is the ultimate holy grail for the ghost, but it is a mountain that few have the courage to climb. Most people are tethered to the global system by 1,000 invisible strings: debt, the hunger for social approval, and the desperate need for external validation. To be a ghost is to systematically cut those strings one by one until you are no longer a puppet of society. When you stop caring about what they think, you become a dangerous anomaly. When you no longer need their financial structures, you become truly sovereign. True independence doesn't start with a bank account. It starts in the mind when you finally stop asking for permission to exist, to act, or to win. You become the master of your own gravity, pulling the world toward you instead of being pulled by it. The ghost understands the supreme value of what we call focus isolation. While the entire world is drowning in a sea of cheap dopamine, endless notifications, and mindless 15-second distractions, the ghost is swimming in the deepest, darkest waters of concentration. He spends hours in absolute silence, days in deep contemplation, and years in cold, calculated execution. He knows that in an era of universal distraction, a mind that cannot be diverted is a mind that cannot be defeated. This is the competitive advantage of the shadows. You must protect your focus like it is the last drop of water in a desert. While they are busy scrolling, you are busy building empires that they will never see coming until it is far too late to stop you. Information security is not just a technical requirement for your computers. It is a sacred philosophy for your entire life. The ghost never, under any circumstances, leaks his next move to the public. He understands with cold precision that every piece of personal information you give to the world is a weapon that can and will be used against you eventually. Your future plans, your current income, your hidden weaknesses. These must be kept behind the impenetrable vault of your own mind. Let the world guess. Let them be wrong. Let them create stories about you that have no basis in reality. Your mystery is not just a stylistic choice. It is your ultimate strategic protection in a world that thrives on exposing and destroying the successful. Stoicism is the heavy armor worn by the ghost as he navigates the chaos of the modern world. He does not react to the insults of the small-minded, and he does not celebrate the empty flattery of the crowd. He remains a neutral, immovable force in a world defined by emotional instability. When the markets crash and panic spreads like a virus, he is the calm in the center of the storm. When the world cheers for a new trend, he remains analytical and detached. This emotional fortress allows him to see massive opportunities that others miss because they are too busy feeling instead of thinking. To become a ghost is to master your internal world so completely that the external world loses its power to disturb your peace or your progress. Leverage for the ghost is not just about borrowing money. It is about building invisible systems that operate without a face. He focuses his energy on intellectual property, high-level automation, and digital assets that live and breathe in the shadows. He creates machines that generate value 24 hours a day without ever requiring his physical presence or his public identity. He is the ghostwriter of his own destiny, pulling the levers of a global machine that never sleeps and never complains. While others are selling their time for a paycheck, the ghost is building a digital fortress that protects his freedom and multiplies his influence. He doesn't want to be the engine. He wants to be the one who owns the blueprint of the factory itself. The ghost operates on a frequency of high-altitude thinking. He does not look at the next month or the next fiscal quarter. He looks at the next decade and the next generation. He understands that true greatness takes a decade to build and a lifetime to master. And he is perfectly comfortable looking like a loser today to become a king tomorrow. He plays the long game in a world that is hopelessly obsessed with now. While the masses are chasing the latest get-rich-quick scheme, the ghost is laying one brick at a time with obsessive precision. In the end, time is the ghost's greatest ally. Because he is invisible, he has no pressure to perform for an audience, allowing him the patience to wait for the perfect moment to strike and win everything. Control is infinitely superior to ownership, and this is the core defensive strategy of the ghost. He owns nothing in his personal name, yet he controls everything through a complex web of entities, trusts, and silent partnerships. This is not just about taxes. It is about total legal immunity. If you personally own nothing, there is nothing for the vultures and lawyers of the world to take from you. But if you control the flow of assets, you hold all the power with none of the individual risk. Learn the laws of the system so you can exist outside of its reach. The goal is to be a person of no consequence on paper, but a person of absolute authority in reality. This is how the real game is played by those who truly understand power. We live in a digital panopticon where every breath is recorded and every move is analyzed by an algorithm. But even in a world of total surveillance, you can choose to be a system glitch. Be unpredictable in your habits. Change your patterns frequently. Do not become a predictable data point that a machine can profile and sell. The more boring and normal you appear on the outside, the more creative freedom you can cultivate on the inside. The ghost uses the mask of the ordinary to hide the extraordinary. By blending into the background of society, he gains the freedom to operate without the constant interference of the matrix. He is the ghost in the wires, the one the algorithm can see but never truly understand. Your inner circle must be incredibly small, or it will inevitably become the cause of your downfall. The ghost does not have friends in the traditional casual sense. He has allies who are bound by a shared code of silence and excellence. He surrounds himself only with those who value privacy and loyalty as much as he does. A single leak in your inner circle is a massive breach in your empire that can destroy years of work in a single day. If people talk to you about the secrets of others, you can be certain they will talk to others about your secrets. Choose your ghosts with extreme caution. Your circle should be a fortress of silence, not a source of gossip. In the shadows, loyalty is the only currency that actually matters when the lights go out. Disappearing is not an act of running away or hiding in fear. It is an act of supreme ascension. It is about reaching a level of existence where you no longer feel the need to participate in the petty, exhausting dramas of modern society. You have built your fortress. You have secured your total freedom. You have won the game. Now you can sit in the quiet shadows and watch the world move, knowing that you are the architect of your own reality. and everyone else is just a player in a game you have already mastered and left behind. This is the ultimate victory of the ghost, to be in the world, but not of it. To be the silent observer who holds the keys to a kingdom that no one else even knows exists. The ghost is the living embodiment of the iceberg principle, a master of hidden depths in a world of shallow surfaces. What people see, the tiny fraction that rises above the water, is only 10% of the reality. They see the calm exterior, the modest lifestyle, and the quiet confidence. But they have no conception of the 90% that lies beneath. The cold discipline, the brutal late-night sacrifices, the complex legal structures, and the unwavering strategic vision that anchors his entire existence. The ghost understands that the moment the world sees your full mass, you lose your maneuverability. By keeping the vast majority of your power submerged in the deep, freezing waters of privacy, you become an unstoppable force that cannot be measured, predicted, or destroyed by the storms of the surface world. You are not a wave that crashes and disappears. You are the ocean itself, vast, deep, and terrifyingly silent. The global system is a perpetual storm, a chaotic vortex designed to strike down anyone who stands too tall or speaks too loudly. Most people spend their entire lives trying to find shelter from this storm, or worse, they become victims of its lightning. The ghost chooses a third path. He becomes the lightning itself. He moves with such speed and precision in the darkness that by the time you see the flash, the strike has already occurred, and he has already vanished back into the void. He does not compete within the storm. He transcends it. He uses the chaos as cover for his movements, turning every crisis into a silent opportunity to expand his territory. To be the lightning is to be brief, brilliant and devastatingly effective, leaving the world trembling in the aftermath of a move they never saw coming. You don't need to fear the weather when you are the one who controls the atmosphere from the shadows. Your greatest achievement in this life will not be the moment you put your name on a building, but the exact moment you can finally delete your name from the system while keeping your absolute power intact. This is the definition of true high-level sovereignty. Most people are addicted to the recognition of their peers. They want the plaque, the title, and the applause. But the ghost knows that a name is just a handle for the system to grab you by. When you remove your name, you remove the handle. You become a phantom in the machine, a ghost who holds the keys to the kingdom but leaves no fingerprints on the locks. This is the transition from a person to a force of nature. When you no longer exist on paper as a target, you are free to exist in reality as a god of your own making. You own the results, you own the influence, and you own the future, all without the burden of an identity that the world can judge or crucify. This is your final initiation into the path of the invisible. The ghost does not follow a pre-written path, nor does he wait for the crowd to show him the way. He creates a new reality in the silent vacuum of his own ambition. The question you must now ask yourself is not, how do I get noticed? But am I truly ready to disappear into my own greatness? Most cannot handle the silence. They crave the noise of the world to distract them from their own emptiness. But you are different. You have seen behind the curtain of the matrix. You understand that the shadows are not a place of fear, but a sanctuary of ultimate potential. As you step into this new era, remember that your power grows in direct proportion to your privacy. The more you hide, the more you can hold. The more you disappear, the more you can dominate. The path is open, the fog is clearing, and the shadows are calling your name for the very last time before you erase it forever. Mind Decoded. This is more than a channel. It is a blueprint for a new way of existing in the modern age. We do not seek followers. We seek architects of the new world. We do not offer motivation. We offer the cold, hard logic of the elite. If you have listened this far, you are already one of us. You are the glitch in the code, the ghost in the machine, the silent predator in a world of loud prey. Silence is your wealth. Privacy is your power. Anonymity is your ultimate freedom. Subscribe to the shadows if you dare to own the light. Join the elite. Join the invisible empire. Join Mind Decoded. The game has changed, and you are finally the one holding the controller from the dark. End of transmission. See you in the silence.